You are watching FemTalk on Trajectory TV. Welcome and enjoy the show.
Acolo cunosc personalul de serviciu care te înjurați o blestematul ăsta și ți oferă mâncarea.
Unde?
La Dilca, la Sfântul Nicolae. Să nu fie toate numai pentru bani. Acum deja numai pentru bani. Toți donațiile și astea, și donațiile privesc copiii, nu?
Da.
Privesc copiii. Donațiile se pune în
The purpose of this documentary is to raise a universal alarm on the extreme poverty levels in which families and over 41.5% of Romanian children live in. Some children go to bed without eating. Some eat every 2 days. 8 in 10 Romanian children in orphanages are not even orphans. The extreme poverty levels of their families forces the parents to abandon their children, either in an orphanage, a placement center, or with a family member, so they can go abroad and work. Even more alarming than the rising poverty levels in Romania are its ramifications: neglect, child abuse, child labor, rape, trafficking, school abandonment, children ending up in the system, in prison, or even worse, dead. Now imagine a world in which all children can grow up in a loving family with proper food, access to education, sexual education, access to proper mental health and physical health, access to integration programs. Imagine these children having the same chance in life as our children. Let's be family to these children. All of us, together. Let's be the answer to the end of poverty and social exclusion. Join our forces and help us build a better world in which families and children of Romania flourish.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fem Talk. We are here as Fem Talk Tuesday, and we are happy to see the Fem Talk Nation out there ready for the show. As always, we have an amazing guest backstage waiting to talk to you. But before we do, I wanted to just highlight the Hope for Kids video that you saw in regards to Romania. We are looking for everybody to join together, band together to support in this effort. We have Dr. Lauren Harris himself going to Romania on the, losing my voice, on the Legacy of Hope tour to Romania. When you think about the number that the young lady in the video gave, 41.5% of children misplaced and in orphanages. Some of those children, not even without families, but their families had to leave them behind in order to go somewhere else to make a living. So very depressed there. We want to make sure that we are giving to the efforts of Romania so that we can help those kids. And with this tour, we know that it is going right into the hands of the people that need it, because we absolutely know who's going there. So we know that they're going to help the kids. They're providing food, they're providing education, they're providing fun. But, we want to make sure that we support. So if everybody gave $1, just $1, you don't have to give a lot of money. If you could just reach in your pocket and give $1, it would make a significant difference. And if we band together and we all gave $1, just think about how much that could do for those children and families in Romania. So just wanted to mention that. But we are here on Fem Talk, everybody. So I want to bring in these beautiful ladies of Fem Talk, and we're going to actually put up the information where you can donate as well. And we'll put it in the show page just so that you can access the link also. But let me bring in the beautiful ladies of Fem Talk. We have Brandy the Disconnector.
What's up, everyone?
Hey. We have also Shima She Talks.
Hey, Fem Talkers.
Hey. And we have Dr. Melissa Simmons. I love putting that doctor on your name.
Hello, me too. Hello.
Hello. So everybody out there, you know how we start this show. Let's do it. So Dr. Melissa, take it away.
Yes, I am excited to say that. Let me say it the way from Clutch Sports, an all-female sport agent team of Nicole Lynn rewrites history with Jalen Hurts extension. He has now received the highest contract in football history that was negotiated by a female sports agent, which in and of itself is history for the NFL. So not only is she making history by representing a major sports figure in the NFL, but she has the highest contract ever executed in the NFL.
Yes. Shout out and congratulations to Jalen Hurts and that young lady that got it for him.
That's right. And what was her name?
Her name is Nicole Lynn.
Nicole Lynn. Go, Nicole. So listen, we love the men out there also, but we got to highlight the ladies. Highlight the ladies. So thank you, Nicole Lynn, for that. And thank you, Dr. Melissa.
Yeah, and the thing about it is I was watching, I always watch, hey, beautiful. I always watch sports shows with Stephen A or Sports Center, whatever. And they had a lot of talking about, let's see what she's capable of doing. So here she go. That's what she did.
Stephen A got one of them voices that make my eye twitch. Hold on. Shut up, Steve. He be cracking me up though. It's all right.
Stop it, Stephen.
Yes. I love that story though. Absolutely amazing. So Dr. Melissa, we have just as an amazing guest waiting backstage. So would you introduce tonight's guest for us, please?
Absolutely. This young man, I just one of these young men that just represents what it is to be a smart, educated, influencer, Black young man out in the world today. Malachi Davis is just that. He has been in so many different arenas, and his personality is one that anytime you speak to him, he just overtakes the room. He is a motivational speaker. He is an influencer, and he has also been in all kinds of business setups and partnerships with different people. He's going to be with us tonight to talk about franchising, because he's had some dealings with that. So we're going to get some information on how to get into a franchise and how to go from freedom and leave your job and start a franchise. But just an amazing young man, and I'm just excited for him to be here tonight. In addition to that, he was featured on the Ellen Show because he's a phenomenal writer, and he was able to express just the love and appreciation he had for his mom. So Ellen actually featured his whole family for a couple of episodes. So with no further ado, we have Mr. Malachi Davis here with us tonight. Woo, woo, woo.
No.
Right.
Davis. Thank you for having me.
We are glad you are here.
Yes, yes.
Pleasure is all mine.
I just like it. We've been having the men onto this show recently,
Right.
and they just count. They come and representing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta represent the queens. That's
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
And we love it. We absolutely love it.
So Malachi, tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do, and give us an idea of, before we get into the franchises, just how you just maneuver different things, because I see you as one of those people that, you're not going to sit still. You're going to find what's out there and try to participate in any way, shape, or form. So let us know a little bit about who you are.
all right. Well, as you said, my name is Malachi. I went to college for creative writing. So my degree, my bachelor's in creative writing. So initially, when I first came out of college, my first couple jobs were writing jobs. I wrote for the Long Island Press, which is a huge publication out in Long Island, Suffolk. It actually covers Nassau and Suffolk. I wrote for them for a while. I wrote for the Queen's Courier, which is another very known publication. I actually also worked for a nonprofit organization called the Cannon Foundation, which was a company, and a lot of people always used to laugh, like, how did you even get involved in that? But it was a foundation that rehomed wild horses. So they would take horses off of certain lands and properties and try to rehome them in places where they can't, get slaughtered or things of that nature. So I wrote for them for a very long time. I did a lot for the website that they had. I did a lot of the articles that, pertain to the horses and stuff like that. So my first couple of years out of college, a lot of it was just strictly writing jobs. That kind of transformed into motivational speaking after Ellen. So when I was on the Ellen show, I got a lot of messages from people, how that goes. Like, somebody sees you on a platform like that, they're like, oh, who's this guy? So I was getting a lot of messages, inboxes from different schools, organizations. Listen, do you speak? We saw how eloquently you spoke on the show. We would love to have you. And that kind of turned into a job. It wasn't anything that I ever kind of thought about doing. I really kind of just have to thank God for that, opening that door and that opportunity. But when it came, opened the door, I stepped right in. And from there, that kind of opened up a whole new world for me. So I spoke at Columbia University. I spoke at Queens College. So like a lot of prestigious universities kind of, reached out to me and asked me to speak. I was a keynote speaker at a graduation. So there was a lot of opportunities that came with that. And during the pandemic, I slowed down just because, at that time, nothing was open, everything was shut down, so I wasn't really able to travel. And I tried to do like some online stuff, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't the same. Like, I like my presence and being in the building and being able to touch people and talk to them and kind of, allow them to feel my presence. So I kind of stopped during that time period, but now I'm, back in the swing of that. Now that things are kind of getting back to this new normal. But yeah, so in between that time, I actually got a job as a district manager for Crumble Cookies. And that was like friend of mine. My best friend actually, Tobias, he plays for the Sixers, and he bought into the company, and he reached out to me and was basically like, "Listen, I need a district manager. You know, you're a very personable person, and to be honest with you, I really didn't have the experience in terms of management, but he just trusted my personality and was like, listen, I know that, you know, everything else you can learn on the job, but the main thing being personable, knowing how to talk to people, you know, vibing with people in a way where they're not offended and you can, you know, delegate and not make people feel like you're talking down to them. He was like, I think you're perfect. So I ended up moving to Philadelphia last February, and we opened 3 stores out here.
Nice.
Dude,
That's
you done already
amazing.
had like 7 careers, and we're only like,
I know.
what's going on, man?
And you're a good man. right. So
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
I have a
Right places, though.
comment
So
slash
never worry about that. I love it.
right. And in light of that too, you mentioned the speaking and how that kind of came up. I wanted you to just talk to the people about, you know, taking those opportunities, right? Stepping out, even if you're fearful, but taking those opportunities. Talk to us about that.
So for me, what I've learned, just in my, you know, I'm 30 years old, so I say like, you know, everything is relative. So to some, that's a short period of time. For others, that's a long period of time. But
Right.
30 years of being here, I say that I learned that you have to kind of jump on opportunities. A lot of the time, you know, we want to feel like we're ready, you know, like we're prepared. Or I don't, you know, I don't want to take that because I'm not necessarily in a space where I think I'm able to flourish in that position.
Yeah.
And I learned that that's not like life isn't like that. Sometimes there's no time for preparation. Sometimes God will throw something at you, and you just got to take the blessing and run with it and learn on the job. And you know, I can attest to that from almost everything that I've experienced in my life from a young age. Playing basketball, you know, Miss Melissa could tell you that I was never really into basketball, and I started playing. I ended up getting ranked in the country, and it was like a big thing. And you know, I didn't prepare for that. You know, I didn't grow up in a household where I was stressed, and it was like, listen, you're gonna play ball. So even how I stumbled upon that, it was kind of like out of the blue. So a lot of the things that I've experienced in my life have come that way. So I've learned to just jump on every opportunity because you never know. And a lot of the time, we block our blessings because we don't feel ready, we don't feel secure. And you know, I tell a lot of people when I do the motivational speaking, sometimes you just have to jump and not worry about where you land. Just know that you're gonna land on your feet, and wherever you do land, that's where you're supposed to land. You know what I mean? So you can't have this idea in your head that everything has to be formulated and thought out before I do it. You know, because you'll never jump out of your comfort zone. So I just feel like it's very, very important for people to know that, like, when it comes to life, you might not ever be ready. You know what I mean? For your
That's
you
right.
gotta just take that chance. So,
Yeah.
That's absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect balance. Like when you learn to trust yourself, when stuff like that comes up, you know, no matter what they throw at you, you can maneuver through it
right,
all. And
right.
you are the perfect example of that. This is so awesome.
I appreciate that.
It's just and it's so amazing, Malachi, because the opportunities, like you said, you didn't let one thing that didn't open stop whatever was moving on for you. Like I know a little bit about his history, and even though people thought it was supposed to go one way, right?
Right.
You allowed the doors to open whatever way they was opening. So I just
Right.
love that initiative you just took to not allow life to
Right.
tell you what was going to happen to you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And to speak on that a little further, because you do know from a personal perspective, what Miss Melissa's talking about, a lot of people, you know, wanted me to go to the NBA, and there was a time where that was very realistic. Like I said, I was ranked top 20 in the nation in basketball. I had a lot of offers and things of that nature, and I ended up getting surgery on my knee, and I'm not gonna say it was an obstacle that I couldn't kind of overcome, but I didn't genuinely have that love for basketball, so it wasn't important to me to get back. And you know what I mean. And it was a lot of work, and I was young, so it was like a lot of people look at basketball as like they get paid a lot of money. It's a great job, but it's a job. And any job you do, if you don't love it, it's work. You know what I mean? So for me, even getting paid that much money, it was work. And as a young kid, you know, you guys probably don't know, but like when you play AAU basketball, you're away every weekend, you're traveling. And that's a blessing. You know, I'm grateful for those opportunities that I was able to travel for free. But as a kid, I wanted to be at the beach with my mom. You know what I mean? And my aunt. I wanted to be at Six Flags. I wanted to be a kid. And that kind of robbed me of just being a kid that could enjoy my childhood, because it was always tournaments and this, and everything was looked at as like a business proposal. Yo, listen, you're 15, 16 years old, but you know, you got to do this and that, and everything was so structured. So it didn't really allow for me to be like just a normal kid. So what, you know, Miss Melissa was kind of talking about was like, you know, there was a lot of people banking on that, you know, in my neighborhood, and people that knew me, like, listen, come on, Kai, you want to take us out of here. And there was a lot of pressure, but you know, I always kind of trusted God. You know, I come from a very religious, well, not even, I don't like to say religious, but spiritual background. And I was raised in the church, and I was always told to just trust God. And I know that, you know, he's already walked out my steps. So I never was concerned. I wasn't worried. I knew that, you know, whatever's for me is for me, and I'm gonna walk right into that. So once that kind of went left, I wasn't like a lot of people used to be like, yo, come on, bro, like how's it feel? And you know, you see your friends and people that you're close to, and they're in the league. I'm like, I'm happy for them, but I'm happy. You know what I mean? And I know I wouldn't have been happy doing that, being away from my family most of the year, grinding. You know what I mean? Playing that, working for something that I didn't, you know, like love myself. It would be me doing it. So,
Yeah.
I gotta say something. Thank you for saying that. Just because you recognize as a young man that that's not what you had love for, and you decided to go against what everybody wanted for you, to do what you felt was best for yourself and listen to God and what was best for you. So I applaud you for that, because most people would have just stuck it out for the money, for, you know, to be the savior for everybody else and just been miserable. So I applaud you for doing that. And I hope other young men are listening to that and paying attention, right?
Yeah.
Where you are now.
Yeah, and that's what you said. He just put something in the perspective that I'm going through myself. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And
must wait till late in life to decide to do what feels good for us, because we have been trained what we were told and what's good for us and where the money is.
Absolutely. What's practical?
What's practical?
Who determines what's practical other than ourselves?
And you know, and now, you know, I think there's more of society has accepted people kind of following their passion. But I remember, Kai, when you was coming through that, you know, the pressure, because that is the golden ticket to so many, you know, people. And, you know, you can't tell now, but Kai got some height on him. So he was the prototypical, you know, NBA perspective. So to really have enough confidence in himself, believe God enough, is just so wonderful. And just as you see, just a strong young man, but know what you want. Because, you know, and I love what Jen said, you know, so many of us have kind of done things that everybody told us it was going to be the best thing to do. Not that we didn't love what we were doing, but, you know, sometimes we get pushed into so many different avenues sometimes. But I love how you just stuck to your guns and you didn't allow one defeat to say, you know, to change. It just went with the story God had for you, which I love. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I see Uncle Lamont is in the chat. What's going on, Uncle Lamont?
He's like, you got Kai on.
Now, I tell you what you just laid down and put in such simple terms, I guarantee it done save somebody's life. Because there's so many people that feel like if they let certain people down, that their whole world will end. It's not true.
Absolutely,
it's not true. I went through a similar situation that I had to choose between continuing private gymnastics and choosing between high school gymnastics, and that was essentially the end of my gymnastics career, according to some. But me, I wanted to go out having fun. So I chose high school gymnastics, so private gymnastics kissed my butt.
For sure. For sure. And that's what it's about. I think in life we kind of lose sight of the importance of happiness.
Right.
And we get so caught up, like we were saying earlier, in what's practical and what we're conditioned to believe success looks like. And I don't think that, that's one thing. I think that, success is a personal thing. And it's whatever you see it as and how you view it. And even the road to success. A lot of us think there's one road to success, but there's multiple roads that lead to that finish line. And I know for me, a lot of people that I've met, along my life and just, in passing, there's always this interpretation of there only being one route. All right, this is what I saw my parents do. This is what I saw my grandparents do. This is what I got to do. And it's like, once you realize that there's so many routes you can take to reach success and whatever that means to you, because everybody has a different definition of success.
Yes.
So that, it's feeling comfortable with your decisions. Because I will say this. I remember having a conversation with my dad, and I didn't grow up in a household with my father. I was raised by my mother. But as me and my father started to kind of build a relationship, I remember having a very, very, this conversation marked me, because this was at the time where a lot of people were like, yo, Kai, you gotta play basketball, you gotta go to, come on, man, this is the way. And my dad sat me down and he said, listen, I'm never gonna tell you what decision to make, because only you have to live it out. I don't have to live it out. So if I tell you, do this, do this, do this, do this, I'm not in the gym working out every day. I'm not putting my body on the line. I'm not grinding and doing all these things. He said, you are. He said, also, I don't want you to live resenting me because you feel like I pressured you to do something. He said, so I'm going to support you with whatever way you go. Because at the end of the day, he was saying, the important thing is, he said, if you make a decision and it doesn't work out, at least you made the decision. And you can stomach that. Right? I made that decision. He said, but if I make it for you and it doesn't work out, now it's like, dang, I don't want to do this in the first place. So that support was, very encouraging, and hearing that from him, it was like, that's deep. And it definitely took a huge, weight off my shoulders and feeling like, all right, I'm not disappointed. Because my mother was always supportive, but that's who I've always known my mother to be. Kyle, whatever you want to do it. I love you. We're good. I'm not counting on you to buy me this mansion or nothing like that. So don't think I'm pressuring you. Whatever you want to do, you do it. But to hear it from my dad, it was a little different, because, the relationship was new. We were just kind of bonding in that way. So it was like, wow, for him to have that perspective is deep, But he could have been like, listen, I'm jumping on the bandwagon with everybody else. Like, come on, bro, you got to.
I want to have a son in the league. Go on.
Being the case was very, it was encouraging. Like, all right, cool.
I love that. I'm a boy mom too. And my son decided before high school that he didn't want to play basketball anymore. And I said to him, listen, it's okay. He already said, I know I don't want to go to the NBA. So it was like, okay, well, if you don't want to play anymore, you don't have to play. He said he wanted to play for fun. So that's what we did. We did leagues where he could have fun and enjoy the game and not worry about, the pressure of, having to go, the extra mile, college. And so I applaud your parents for that too. And for listening to you, right? And understanding where you were in your life and knowing that that's not what you wanted for yourself. That's amazing. So talk to us about Crumble, because you mentioned Crumble in this whole scenario and how that was a blessing. Give us more of that story.
So that was actually a real crazy story, because Tobias actually reached out again, like the Ellen. I told you guys earlier, I didn't tell the audience, but when I was on Ellen, on the actual show on the set, it was my daughter's first birthday, January 23rd. So when Tobias had reached out about Crumble, it was also on January 23rd. So he called me January 23rd. He said, Kyle, listen, I just, I got this thing going on, and I gotta, come on, I need you on board. So he explained it to me, described, what the situation was. He's like, listen, I have faith in you. You're personable. You're somebody that I trust, and in this business that's important. So, when I came on board, it was like doing a favor for a friend. Like, you're my brother. I trust you. You trust me. Let's do it. Let's work it out. Whatever I need to learn, I'll learn on the job. But let's get the ball rolling. So, we had the 3 locations out in Pennsylvania. I made the move again. Just taking a leap of faith. Never lived in Pennsylvania before. Didn't have family out here. Just him. So it was like, listen, I'm trusting you. Let's do it. And that's what we did. So I came out. I was in charge of 3 locations out here. So whether that, it was just a huge learning curve for me, learning the business from the side and running 3 businesses and the payroll, scheduling and hiring and all of that stuff. But we made it happen. And we hit the ground running.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
So many things, the trust and the belief. And those are 2 words that popped in my mind. And when you said trust, you had to trust him, of course, because you're going into uncharted waters. But how well did you trust yourself to know that I don't know anything about this area? I'm going to go there on the strength of an idea, but I know that I'm good and I'm going to always take care of me and mine. Right. So I could do this, No,
that's the truth. That's the truth. And this was different. This was very different because it was so foreign to me. And it was a big move. Like Miss Melissa knows, I'm super close with my mother. Like, that's my best friend. She and my aunt, like that's who I credit with, like, really influencing me and raising me. So my life is definitely consistent on my relationship with them. So leaving was kind of like, whoa, like this is kind of like crazy. Like, I never even imagine leaving New York and not being, close to them where I could just jump in the car and go see them real quick if I wanted to. So that comfort level of, having that, and then my whole family's in New York for the most part. So it's like my whole support system is there. So it was like, yo, I'm leaving and kind of like just starting, with my little family, my daughter, my girlfriend. So it was kind of like, whoa, but again, just having the support of family, a lot of good friends in my life that was like, listen, this is a huge opportunity for you. Some people go to school for business and don't get jobs like this and opportunities.
Right.
They're like, and if God is opening a door for you and blessing you, take it, bro. Like, don't finagle with it. Don't second guess it. Just take it and figure it out later. And obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but I did it, and I'm grateful because I made a lot of wonderful connections out here. A lot of my employees, I had celebrated my 30th birthday last May 22nd, and I had about eight employees drive down to New York. I had a cookout, so they all came, and just the camaraderie of that, like that people. Like, I was able to impact him on that level. It's like, nah, he's not just, our district manager. He's like family. Like, we want to be there. We want to support him. And even that, like just having a new family, I guess, out here and a new support system. A lot from that job, like employees that I had just really took to me, appreciated me. So, again, just another opportunity that I think God put me in. And I feel like, I think I used to measure success by longevity. So in my mind, if something didn't last long, it wasn't worth anything. But then I realized, like, you can make an impact in a day, in 2 days, 3 days. So even if you're not there for a long period of time, the impact that you had is timeless. You know what I mean? So because there's people that I spoke to on a personal level at that job that confided in me about personal things, and we talked, and it was bigger than work. And that's something you never forget, and I think that I'm learning that now, that like you have to just ride the wave wherever it takes you. As long as you're enjoying yourself, and like even in relationships, like I tell people all the time, like just because a relationship is not forever doesn't like lessen its value. You could be somebody,
That's powerful.
the
Yeah.
friendship ends, right? But they still taught you so much. So does
That's
that mean it takes away from the value of the friendship? No, the friendship was just as valuable as a friendship, or maybe even more valuable than a friendship you might have for the rest of your life. So I'm just learning not to equate that with longevity. Like there's times where you can't look at it like, yo, it didn't last long, so that means that this wasn't the right thing. No, you were supposed to do this in the time period that you were in there for. That was it. It's okay. You know, it's all right to move
your
on.
lesson. That's right.
And that's about trusting God too, right? You know that phrase, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And everything is meaningful, you know, and everything happens for a reason. So if you trust him, then you know that those encounters or relationships are for something, right? I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my gosh.
That's why right there. I want to task our audience with something right now. If you know somebody that is a difficult manager or a leader, tag them on this show right now.
Right.
People don't quit jobs, they quit people.
That's right.
He's an example of how to be in order to retain people and actually grow and pour into folks. I'm loving this.
Yes.
That's right.
And
That's
it's so
such
important.
wisdom.
Yeah, and it's so important to see, you know, a young man looking like you
Absolutely.
in a position of leadership. Because you said you was a district manager, so you had not just one store, you had 3 stores.
That's right.
And you know, and when I read about Crumble, it's a lot of. I mean, and did you participate in the Crumble training, or did you get the training from Tobias?
So I actually I did. I had to, so in order to have my position, you have to go through corporate training. So what it is basically before you open a location, they send 2 corporate trainers and they train you. And it lasts for about 3 to 4 days, and they stay there until the soft opening of your store. So
That's
and they assist you and kind of walk you through it, make sure everything's good. And so I had to get certified. I had to learn every aspect of the store from a worker's level, not even from a managerial level, just knowing everything and, you know, from cooking to mixing and everything. So yeah, it was a not, I wouldn't say strenuous, but definitely a very in detail training.
That's
It
great.
sounds like an amazing support system for anybody that would be interested in the Crumble franchise.
Yeah.
Also, the only reason I even know what Crumble is because Shima, with her wonderful self, actually sent me a Crumble assortment of cookies for my birthday last year, and I will go for it.
They are delicious cookies.
They are great.
Delicious cookies.
Oh man.
And one of the
that
things
kid in me definitely came out that day.
Now I did look it up that the investment, these are not one of the cheap investments either. Crumble and the startup is close to $500,000, if not more, for one store. And tell us a little bit about that, as much as you knew about that.
Well, for sure. So it was for the startup. It was about altogether about 507, like I'll say like 507,225. And the franchise fee is 50,000. So but that's included in that whole entire price.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so no, it's definitely expensive.
Yeah.
But I think that I would say no, for real, no, it is, because I'm thinking like it is pricey, but I feel like the goal is to get as many as you can, right? So you don't want to just buy one store because you probably won't make back what you put out in a reasonable, amount of time.
Right.
But if you, let's say, have 4 or 5 stores, now all right, whatever I'm grossing from each of those stores are kind of going towards, that price that I initially put out, and now I'll make that back. And I will say from a lot of the other owners that I've met, in the time of me being there, a lot of them were able to make back whatever they put out in like 2 years.
Yes.
That was also, like I said, having multiple stores. So that's
significant.
3, 4, 5 stores, things of that nature. So definitely you would have to work your way up to that to kind of really see, like, all right. Because also the other thing is you have to kind of account for, I might have store that's a lot busier than the other one.
Right.
That is, strenuous. There's always people coming in and out. Then I might have one that's quiet, and there's only certain times that it's really jumping, and there's a lot of customers and stuff like that. So when you have those multiple, you kind of can lean on the other ones when one is not doing good. All right, this store's not really doing well, and our members and metrics are not there, but cool, we got 2-3 other stores that are doing well. So,
Right.
So yeah.
And it is recommended. When I looked it up, they were saying they wanted people to, not just buy one store. That it seems like the average is 3 that they recommend, and
100%.
and that, to your point, Kai, the return on investment. If you put everything in, is about 3. About 3 years you could get your investment, which is not bad, but
Not
you
at all.
have to have a large amount to deposit into the business. It's not cheap.
Sure. No, it's not at all, and that's why I think you see like a lot of wealthy people buying into the company, not so much regular. Like with I remember when Chick-fil-A was like a popular thing to buy into. It was a little more reasonable, where like the average person could be like, listen, a couple of me and my guys, we're gonna put up some money for it. Like Crumble is definitely not that. Like listen, you gotta really have some money and to put in.
But at that rate though, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm a devil's advocate in this one. So three Crumble,
10 Chick-fil-A
franchises, or 1 McDonald's.
Yeah.
If you got money for 3, you might want to actually see which one returns the ROI faster. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. And you mentioned Chick-fil-A, right? Too, that you put that in that scenario because you see where they're going right now. Right. But we have to stay tuned, everybody. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk to Malachi because we want to continue to hear all the wisdom that this young man is imparting on us. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
I've lost some battles along the way.
Hi, I'm Mike Sabuika. I am a director, producer, and performer. I have been involved with charity since I was a little kid, and it's always brought me joy.
So let it burn all the way to the ground.
And we want to be a part of this project because we want to be a helping hand.
And spread joy. And
So I guess the universe is working and gather all of us to do something good for these beautiful children.
On the extreme poverty levels in which families and over 41.5% of Romanian children live in.
Nothing's ever gonna tear us down. We are told as giants. We are strong.
Give them hope. Yeah. My main motivation for this whole project is giving hope to the children.
Nothing's ever gonna
What matters in life is to be a good person and to do good to others.
All right. I just wanted to continue that because we are supporting this effort here. So I'm going to put this quick flyer up here, and you can click right on the QR code and go to donate your donation, and your heartfelt sympathies for these families in Romania will definitely be considered and provided right to the children and the families that are in need. So just want to say that once again. So we are back with the amazing Malachi, this young man of wisdom. He said he's 30, right? And to me, that's young Malachi. So forgive me if I'm calling you a young man, but young man with so much wisdom. You know, when I just hear you speak, there's so much wisdom coming out of you. And I could tell that you trust and believe in God so much. So, you know, we thank you for sharing your journey with us. Talk a little bit more about, you know, what's happening with Malachi now, you know, because you've done so much already at 30, right? So talk to us about what's next, what's going on here.
Honestly, for me right now, I kind of made a promise to myself that I would really just put 100 into my personal business. So that being the motivational speaking, the writing, just trying to take advantage of every avenue. And whatever new opportunity opens up, like I was recently speaking to somebody, not gonna blow them up on here, but it was a wedding, and I had helped the person write their vows, and they gave me some bullet points. And it was like, listen, I really need you. Like, I got what I want to say, but like I just can't put it in, you know, on paper. And so I said, all right, just give me a couple bullet points. I'll do that for you. Just, you know, just give me some ideas. So I ended up writing it. And afterwards, they were like, listen, like, you need to start a business like that. She's like, because I'm sure I'm not the only bride that went through that, you know, where you're kind of struggling to get your words together. So just like hearing little things like that, I'm like, I want to have different services for everything. And I just want to use the gifts that God gave me to the best of my ability. So, you know, with the motivational speaking thing, a lot of it is really just been God, you know, making the road easy for me. But I want to actually put more of an effort myself, you know what I mean? Because I think what I learned in you know, just kind of going through certain things, like I said, basketball, that wasn't something that I like worked on hard to become good. Like a lot, I could honestly say God just blessed me, but it's a blessing, but sometimes it could be a curse because when you get things so easy, now it's like I don't really have to work hard. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get complacent and stuck, and well, things just seem to happen. You know what I mean? Without me really putting an effort forth. So, you know, at 30 years old, like I want to really just commit and put 100 into something. And I'm like, you know, why not put it into my dream? You know, we go years and years working hard for other people and helping them with their dream and their aspirations and stuff like that. And it's like some of us die and never do it on our own and for ourselves. So I'm like, I just really want to lock in and do that. So right now it's just me focusing on that, like just going full throttle with the business, trying to stay booked, giving people, you know, the opportunity to know. Because that's another thing, like from a marketing standpoint, Ellen made it easy. You know what I mean? I people were calling me, listen, we need you to come speak here. So it wasn't too much groundwork. I wasn't, you know, having to hand out flyers and let people know this is what I'm doing. So it's like I'm just in a space where I'm like, you know, I have to create a lane, and I can't, you know, allow time to continue to go by where I'm just, I'm going to continue to accept the blessing, but not take advantage of it. And then I'm not trying to cause. Like that's what I'm kind of in a space right now, just to like really put in a huge effort into the things that I know I love and want to do.
Wonderful.
Amen. Yeah.
Legacy. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm listening to you. I hear a book in you. There is a book in you because there's such a story to tell.
Yeah.
And
at 30, there's about 25 of them jokers in him.
Story to tell, and I could just see you with that book, just even reaching more. And I don't think there's even an age to it, because I think so many people are trying to find themselves and and trying to do what you're saying is not take advantage of where life is taking you, but to really allow each piece to like open up whatever door it opens. And I think that's the beauty of it, is just enjoying the journey. Like we talk all about the journey, and it seems like you have mastered this is the journey, and let me take the journey where it's taken me. So I just love that in you. I just love it.
And the great part about hearing these things is even when you've heard it, because we've heard it all, but those who have not heard it and have heard other people say it, it may not be the voice that they need to hear. It may not be the person that needs to impart the knowledge. So you are speaking to so many people, and you know that, but you're also speaking to those people who have heard it but have not really listened to it.
Yeah. Good, Shima. Ding, ding. I don't got my bell today. Ding, ding, ding.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was very real. That was very real. And I agree. I think that sometimes we don't, like, I'm gonna be honest, right? Like I learned in life, and this is just from, like, not from managing or anything. Like, this is just from dealing with people in general. I always tell people, presentation is everything, right? So sometimes we deliver a message that might be the right message, but the presentation is off, right? So a lot of the time, I tell people, I say, I use this analogy a lot. I tell people, what's your favorite food? So, like, let's say someone says a steak. I go, okay. I said, so if you went to your favorite steakhouse, right? Let's say it's Peter Luger. I said, and they brought you a steak on a garbage can top. Would you eat the steak? Right? So people laugh. That's what they do. They usually laugh. Then they go, no, of course not. Like, why would I eat it? So I go, well, it's at your favorite restaurant. It's the same steak that you eat every day. Why wouldn't you eat it? Because the presentation's off. It's a dirty garbage can top. I go in life, when you deliver a message, it's the same way. So that message is the same as the steak. It's the same steak. But if you're not dressing up, if you're not making it palatable for the person to receive it, how can they? So I feel like in life, you have to learn how to say things and deliver messages in a way where it could be palatable and people take it in and receive it, because a lot of the times we are saying the right thing, right? We are saying somebody and saying what we know to be correct, but we just might not deliver it in a way where they could receive it and say,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a huge reminder not to be offended that you might be saying the right thing, but it's not landing the way that you wanted to with that person. It might not be meant to come from you.
Right. And sometimes people are just not ready, right? Like they're just not ready. And I guarantee you, though, when you are delivering the message, right, and giving the presentation that you're talking about, they'll think about it later when they are ready, right? It doesn't mean that they didn't hear you; they just didn't absorb it all yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the seed. You know, that's what it is. We all plant them, and it may just sit underground forever. How long?
Yeah.
But once it starts sprouting, people remember where they heard and what they heard when it happens. It's their time.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. So where can we find you on stage next? Do you have something lined up where people can come see you?
Yeah. So a lot of the time, like as of right now, a lot of the time I'll post it on my social media when I have a speaking engagement. But I am in the process of working on a website so that way people could go there, look on there to kind of see, and I'll have like a calendar of all the events that I'll be doing and, when, where. And I also want to kind of incorporate my writing on that platform, where you can come to the, website, see if you might want to read something that I've written, because I also write poetry. So that I'm working on right now, a book of poetry. But that's kind of right now. It's Instagram, Facebook. I put up a lot of my stuff. I'm supposed to be talking in New York in June, so I'll have more information about that, and that'll definitely be up on my Facebook.
Okay.
But
yeah, very nice.
I tell you, Malachi, this has just been such a heartfelt kind of. We didn't even want to know too much about the franchise anymore
because he's such an amazing person.
story. And I think that's what it's about. Is when you is hearing the story behind the people, and
Right.
and that I think is so powerful. So we would love to have you back. Let us know anytime you're just not doing nothing. Say, hey, y'all, come and join us because we just want to hear more from you.
I would say I'm gonna put you to task right before your June appearance, right? So we can kind of blast it out there, maybe the week before or 2 weeks before, whatever you think is best. So we can blast it out there so people can come to your event in June.
That's perfect. I appreciate that. And listen, you guys are family. Like Miss Melissa's been, I told her the other day, because she was so formal when she reached out to me. She's like, hey, it's your Auntie Charlene. I said, come on, man. You're Uncle Lamont. Y'all have known me my whole life. What do you mean? Do I know who this is? I'm like, of course. So listen, whenever you guys need me, I'm here. I'm open. I feel like in life, we're supposed to utilize the people in our lives that have something to offer. Like a lot of people, I don't like that there's such a negative connotation with used, in relationships. Oh, he used me, or I don't like the way this person or that person used me. They use me, and I always tell people, if you can't use something, that means it has no value.
Come on, Malachi. Why you gonna put that out there like that when we have to end the show?
So real quick, I'm gonna tell you, like when you do that, it's like if you have a car that sits in the driveway and you never use it, it has no value, right? You have to bust to work and you don't use that car. Or we go to church, right? And people say, I want God to use me, right? Then it's positive. So what I tell people is, if I have something to offer, by all means, please use me. Just don't listen.
Right.
That's
that we have to end
that's the way to end
it. I'm telling you, man.
Don't misuse it.
You're gonna see us. You're gonna see yourself in the clips.
Right.
All right, y'all.
Everybody out there. Listen, we have to end the show now. You heard Malachi. Listen, if you didn't catch the whole show, or I would say just go back and listen anyway. Go back to the beginning and listen.
With a notepad. With a notepad.
We're going to end it here. Come back next Tuesday for Femme Talk. Malachi will be back, everybody, so stay tuned for his next appearance here. We love you all. We thank you. We will see you next Tuesday evening. Malachi, sit tight for us for one moment. Everybody, we are out.